Overwatch 2 PVE news is coming very soon. Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Okay, so Blizzard, without any kind of prior warning to anybody, they didn't tell no one, they just went, there's a live stream happening, we're calling it Dev Hang, and it was with a bunch of streamers, Emong, Flat, Seal, and Somnus, and it was also streamed on the Play Overwatch channel with Oh Really Jared, which is the Twitter handle of Jared Neuss, who is the executive producer of Overwatch 2. In which he was going to respond to questions from the streamers and also respond to questions from the chat. So this is what went down. On the subject of PVE news, when he was asked about this, he actually said that they are putting together the plans for when they're going to start talking about PVE news, and it is sooner than we think. In fact, it is not Blizzard soon, it is Jared soon, which, as he jokes and laughs in the interview, that is essentially a bit faster than Blizzard soon. Because if you guys don't know, a quick sort of like lesson on that is Blizzard soon is the whole thing of like, back in the day when Blizzard were obsessed with producing absolutely quality games and quality updates or anything to games, they worked off their own time frame. They didn't go, you know, it has to be produced by this date. It was ready when it was ready, and that could mean delays that could go into years and years while they finalized products. Of course, this ultimately worked because everything they produced through that model was literally game of the year. Anyway, that's not the case anymore. So Jared is sort of saying, hey, this is my Jared time. It could be a little bit of a, you know, a nod towards things are different now. I'm going to make content get produced faster. I'm going to make things come out the door quicker. It could be sort of that, maybe like an internal sort of nudge in some ways. But yeah, the fact is we're going to get some news on PvE. Now, in terms of what we will get from PvE, well, the sky is the limit, to be honest. What we do know so far, though, about PvE is it is no longer one massive campaign that we will be able to play through. It is going to be sort of like little mission packs, I assume. This was confirmed by Aaron Keller in an interview with PC Gamer a while back, I believe. And yeah, BlizzCon is on this year as well. So towards November, the end of the year, that's probably when we're going to start seeing official sort of video footage and content surrounding the PvE, or at least the first PvE drop, which hopefully will probably be playable early 2024. I don't think we're going to get PvE this year. I'd be very surprised if we did, just because things line up with BlizzCon, and Blizzard do like to announce stuff at BlizzCon, and it's sort of the ideal opportunity to go, hey, look at this, it's a complete redevelopment of our PvE system. Because if you guys remember, back in 2019, when I was actually part of the showcase for Overwatch 2 PvE, what they showed us, the Rio de Janeiro mission with the items you could pick up, the talents and everything, it's going to be totally different now. So it's going to be interesting to see where that's gone. Next up, he was asked the question whether charity events are going to return to Overwatch 2. Now, of course, Pink Mercy is absolutely beloved by the community for what it stands for. You know, it's a charity for BCRF. Donations, all of the revenue from the skin, I believe, went straight to donations, and it mounted to millions and millions and millions of dollars went to the charity. The skin is also really good. Everything was awesome about this. And, you know, the biggest criticism has been, why aren't you doing more of this, Blizzard? You know, why are you wasting time making crap skins when you could be doing more of this? And this would make it more palatable to people actually wanting to buy skins. Anyway, he basically says that they are very eager to use the game for more charitable causes, but saying expect to see some news soon on this. So we're not entirely sure whether that means Pink Mercy is coming back or not. I think that would be an easy win if it just literally was available for sale again. But I'd like to see new charities involved in this. I'd just like to see expansion of this program because everybody wins from it. So this is good news. Jared was also asked about competitive rewards, and he basically just said, hey, what rewards would you guys like to see? And then just sort of wanted, I suppose, the chat to come up with crazy ideas. But what he basically did say is there is a lot more that they can do about this. And, you know, this is an acknowledgement from him that rewards are not great. And it's not the first time he's done this either. Way back in the interview he did with SVB on his podcast, he actually did allude to this. He said, look, the rewards are not great at the moment. In fact, progression and rewards are what they're focusing on most internally at that time. So yeah, that's good news because obviously you need to feel like you're progressing in the game. And obviously with the removal of things like account level and stuff like that, it can be hard at times to see where the progression is. Of course, Blizzard are trying to shove the progression down the Battle Pass path because that's where the money is and all of that stuff. But yeah, he does acknowledge that we do need more rewards for competitive, because all we've got at the moment is competitive points that you can spend on, well, golden weapons. Okay, you do get titles as well, depending on where you finish in the season. But they only last for a season, I believe, and then they reset to whatever your next final ranking is in the next season. But yeah, this is good news. Again, like, I'd like to see what you guys think about this in terms of competitive rewards, because you could just go, you know, so far with this, so far. I mean, I've always kind of liked the idea of skins that are for unique achievements. Not so much like, okay, well, yeah, you would have one if you're top 500, like some sort of top 500 skin, or maybe not a skin, like to begin with, maybe like a weapon charm or something like that. That's unique because you've achieved it, not because you've just bought it, but something that you've achieved based on skill. Also, I'm kind of against things that are just given to people for invested time. You know, to get to top 500, or let's say if you get to GM, you get a GM icon you can hang off your weapon. In fact, just do it for all the ranks. It seems like an easy win. They've already got the 3D model for the rank, right? You know, that'd be cool to begin with, yeah, because you've earned that. You haven't actually bought that, you've earned it. And it wouldn't even matter if it was just a seasonal thing and it disappeared, then you got another one. Way cooler than a title, if you ask me. It's a visual representation of your skill. But yeah, you could do things like, you know, imagine if you've got a certain number of wins on Reinhardt, then you get a special Reinhardt type of, I don't know, spray, a Reinhardt addition to your skin, even a weapon skin maybe, or something like that. You know, I think that is really, really cool. And the sky is the limit for this. So they really need to develop it. We also got a bit of information on weapon inspects, and we actually got confirmation here that we won't see any weapon inspect stuff until Season 6 at the very earliest. Now, that's a pretty long way away. That's getting towards the end of the year. Now, you guys probably remember that they did actually tease weapon inspects in the trailer for Overwatch 2's sort of new features, and that was back in October. So they've got this sort of ready to go. Well, I say ready for some heroes, it looks like, but not all of them. And apparently this is because they're focusing on other areas that need development and have got priority over weapon inspects. But I don't know, like, one of the things for me with weapon inspects is it endears the character more to the player. You know, if you do have that weapon inspect, it also shows off your cosmetics that you've got hanging from your weapon a bit better, so your weapon charms. But also, it's cool, right? It's nice. You know, so I'd like to see this, and it's going to be fun when this eventually gets added, hopefully in Season 6. He then also got asked about the new support heroes coming to the game. Now, of course, recently I put a video together with some most likely candidates as to who the new support could be coming in Season 4. And Jared actually says that he feels very confident in saying that the next two supports are cute. Now, not cute like your dog or your pet, but cute like Mercy. So take that how you will, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, and apparently we're going to start seeing teasers very soon for the next hero, which does make sense because we're not that far away from Season 4, and they generally do start teasing, like, you know, maybe 2 or a week before. I think with Ramatra, they maybe teased him a little bit earlier, simply because Overwatch League was coming out. So they sort of used Ramatra to pump the viewership on Overwatch League at the time, I believe, for the finals. So yeah, you had, I think it was the finals, wasn't it? Whatever, it was something with Overwatch League they were doing. I don't really pay too much attention, but yeah, news is next two heroes are going to be cute heroes, but they're not going to be cute like a dog. Cute like Mercy instead is what they're going to be like. Competitive Mystery Heroes is now live as well. I've not tried this. It's probably going to be massively hectic. It's also not going to be balanced at all because it's Mystery Heroes. So just go in with, you know, I don't know. you don't expect to get a balanced experience there, but who cares? I mean, the big takeaway here is if you do play Mystery Heroes, you may as well play competitive Mystery Heroes because you'll get competitive points at the end of the season. You'll also get a title as well. So you're better off playing this than you are just playing just normal Mystery Heroes, because like I said, it's not balanced. So don't worry about team comps because, well, the team comps selected by the game. There has also been, in recent weeks, a notable exodus of a very high-level talent at Blizzard. Now, I don't think it comes as any surprise that we're starting to see these posts on Twitter of people, you know, resigning from Blizzard and moving on to different things, given that we know about the call which took place with the Blizzard president, Mike Ybarra, in which he basically said, work from home is over, nobody has a choice, you will be required to come to the office and work for a certain number of days every week. Now, if people were hired during the pandemic and they're working remote, or even if people have just relocated to different places in the country because they were able to, suddenly being told you need to now go back to Irvine is a massive hard pill to swallow. So I'm sure that's going to have something to do with a number of people leaving Blizzard. Now, of course, I don't know why any of these people have left Blizzard, but all I can do is comment on what they've done for the game and what this kind of means for the game going forward. So I'm going to fire up on the screen Trey. Now, Trey was a level designer, essentially, at Blizzard. He'd been there for 10 years. He was involved in building quite a few maps for Overwatch 2, been involved in Overwatch 1. You know, he's done a lot, but now he's moved to Bungie. We've also got Jeffrey Garnett, who is an award-winning sound designer. He left, and now he works at Bungie. And possibly the most notable one of recent weeks is John Spector, who was a vice president of Blizzard, and in fact a vice president of the Overwatch franchise, I believe, or Overwatch franchise monetization. He's left. Now, he's been at Blizzard for 6 years, and it's kind of funny when I read these back, because, like, you know, 6 years at Blizzard, I'm like, oh my days, I've been making videos on this game for like 7 years. What am I doing? You know what I mean? I need to make a post and go, I'm out of here. Go, goodbye. Anyway, yeah, he says he's gone. Now, the thing with John Spector is he was initially part of, I think he came, if I get this wrong, I apologize, John, but I believe he came from NBA, because was he involved in NBA 2K's sports leagues, which was obviously their esport. But he was basically one of Nate Nanz's understudies, and he was the person who was responsible for Overwatch League in its initial form, and the whole Overwatch League is going to be bigger than NFL. And then into the second year and the third year, there was I completely forget this guy's name, but he was a faceless corporate guy who was put in charge of Overwatch League. But essentially, John was running it behind the scenes. And then John got the promotion he was deserved, and he became the commissioner of Overwatch League. And then, you know, in the subsequent years, he actually moved his way from the esports divisions actually into the Overwatch division and became one of the leaders of the franchise. But he's leaving now. And again, like, you know, we don't know why any of these people are leaving. It could be because they are, you know, they don't live in Irvine. They don't want to work from office. It could be they've got a better job offer from elsewhere. Because, of course, there's a lot of issues with Blizzard. Things with the legal cases that they're dealing with, all kinds of problems. Blizzard has been notorious for not paying as well as other companies as well, that for people doing the same job. So it's no surprise that I think we're seeing a lot of people move to companies like Bungie and companies like Riot. Now, it is worrying, right? Because this is an issue of brain drain, and it's quite competitive, especially down there in California in the games industry. If you can start pulling people away from companies that maybe they've worked at for years, they've got, you know, knowledge that is very unique. And if you can take that and plug it into your business, into your company, into your game, that's a big win. And of course, if you're just paying more straight out of the gate and you're offering maybe better, you know, working conditions as well, because maybe you do offer work from home, then all of a sudden you're winning from this and Blizzard is losing. The question becomes, can Blizzard actually recover from that in the long term? What I would say, though, is this isn't really something that'll affect the game short term. This is not something that you'll just see an immediate impact of. Even if, like, Aaron Keller leaves and all of the, you know, the big wigs just leave, the game would still function for a while. But that's when things start to change, you know, when you're like a couple of months down the line. Anyway, thank you everybody for listening and watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's been another bit of a roundup. They do seem to have this habit now of doing these streamer-only let's talk to developers in some sort of casual way thing, which is a bit odd because, like, when I get wind of this, I'm like, okay, you know, we sort of break it down into a video and go from there. But I'll keep doing my best, guys, to bring you all of the relevant news and updates, no matter how difficult Blizzard make it to find it. All right, guys, thank you, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. See you soon.